Hey, what is up, models? It is TCCrew here with a new video for you. Welcome to What If Deku Could Copy Quirks, Part 17. I just wanted to greet you guys by just saying, sit back and relax. You're in for a treat. So we begin. The teen woke up to see his friends and mom next to him. What are you guys doing here? Midoriya was covered in bruises and a few broken bones. You just fought the entire league by yourself and came out with many wounds, the other copy quirk user said, looking at the bandages drenched in blood from the cuts.
Well, how do you feel?
The homeless man asked as he walked into the room, noticing the file on the table with everything wrong with Midoriya. Fine now, Izuku replied, holding his side where the broken ribs are.
Well, you get some rest while we scout out the overhaul base.
Aizawa demanded, closing the file for no one else to see. Many days went by as Midoriya laid in his bed, squirming and fidgeting, waiting to do something. He failed to fall asleep many days due to the agony of his cracked ribs.
Alright, kid, you can stay here while we fight the masked villain,
the teacher said, slowly walking towards the exit of the room. Let me go as well! I would love to kick some ass right now! The mimic hero excitedly shouted as he jumped out of his bed.
No, you will stay here and let your bones heal,
Shota demanded. Then why come here and tell me if I'm not allowed to join? The green-haired boy yelled as he looked deeply into the soul of his teacher.
Because I will like to say goodbye just in case I don't make it,
the homeless man said, trying not to think about if he did die. I do not care, I'm coming with you if you like it or not. The teen barked at the racer, making him a little upset. The freckled boy barged past the teacher, making his way to Class 1A. Once Class 1A met up with the rest of the heroes, the Night-Eye Agency walked over to the massive compound where the mission will begin.
Right, everyone, listen up. There are very dangerous villains in here, and I advise you to take precautions,
the lanky man announced. Yes, sir! The police officer yelled. The heroes and the officers walked towards the entrance with a warrant in hand. Die! A massive man burst through the wall of the building, absorbing the strength of Class 1A.
Quick! Take this thing down!
Aizawa shouted as he strained his eyes to erase Rikia's quirk. Sure thing! Uraraka replied as she lifted him up in the air with her zero-gravity quirk. Sue shot her tongue out to grab the massive person, leading him away from everyone else.
You can't beat me!
Katsukame barked. As the officers tried to regain their strength and the numbers, a man walked out of the building, liquor bottle in hand.
I'll help the girls! You defeat this lunatic!
Shota shouted, running in the direction Ochako went. Who are you? The blue girl asked.
Your worst nightmare!
Just then, everyone started to feel dizzy and nauseous. Policemen were throwing up and the students were in immense pain. No one felt that drunk ever. I got this! The green-haired boy announced, shooting a wave of fire at the sake. The man went up in flames, burning alive.
Someone put him out!
Katsuki yelled. Just then, Todoroki covered the burned man in the cold ice, but that just made it worse. The ice caused the skin to damage more and gave Didoro frostbite all over.
I'm so sorry, I didn't know that was gonna happen.
Shoto shouted.
Well, you should have known after the burn you got on your face.
Bakugo barked back at the half-and-half boy.
Oi, cool it, you lot. We need to find overhaul.
Nada yelled at the fighting teens. The two girls dragged the large man further down the road until he started to get bigger.
Looks like a Razorhead has reached his limit.
Rikia yelled as Sue and Uraraka collapsed. Quick, Froppy, we need to do something! Uravity shouted. Just as Aizawa got there, Katsukame was almost as tall as Mount Lady.
Run!
Shota demanded it, but it was too late. The large man already stepped on Asui, crushing her to death. The brunette was next. Ochako slowly got back up, trying to run away from her impending doom.
Not so fast, small one.
Rukia went to pick the brown-haired girl up, but he tripped on something. Eraserhead wrapped the large man's legs together with his scarf, causing him to trip and fall.
Quick, let's get out of here.
The homeless-looking man said as he picked his student up and ran. The rest of the Night Eye Agency in Class 1A walked into the building, taking down the goons like it was nothing, until they reached the main villain, Overhaul.
Well, if it isn't the copy master himself.
Overhaul shouted as Midoriya stared into his soul.
I don't know what you mean by copy master, because my name isn't Kakashi.
The green-haired boy replied, remembering the manga he read about a young ninja who would become the greatest ninja of all time.
Doesn't matter, you will still meet your end.
As the man shouted, the ground spiked up everywhere. Replica dodged all the spikes, sending himself back to the entrance where Shoto waited. Both teens set their left side ablaze and their right frosty.
Todoroki, you ready?
Izuku asked, giving a smirk as he knew this would be an amazing team-up and fight.
Hell yeah, Midoriya!
The half-and-half boy responded, also giving a smirk as he realized this is something astounding. Sorry to interrupt, but this video was sponsored by Honey. Honey is a free browsing add-on available on Google, Opera, Firefox, Safari. If it's a browser, it has Honey. Honey automatically saves you money when you check out on sites like Amazon, Papa John's, Kohl's. Whenever you shop, it's a good chance that Honey can save you money. All you have to do when you're checking out at these major sites, click that little orange button and it will scan the entire internet and find discount codes for you. It takes 2 clicks to install Honey. Now, anytime you check out, Honey will scan the entire internet and find coupon codes for you. If there is a coupon code, they will find it. And if there is not a coupon code, you can rest assured that you are getting the best price possible, and there literally is not one available on the internet. If you install Honey right now, you can save like $50 to $100 on your shopping, doing nothing. There's literally no reason not to install Honey. It takes 2 clicks. 10 million people use it. 100,000 5-star reviews. Unless you hate money, you should install Honey. Use the link in the description to start saving money now. Now, back to the video. The room turned to ice, leaving the masked leader skidding across the floor.
God damn you kids.
The fire raged as both teens shot the flames at Kai. Luckily, he built up a wall of rock just by touching the floor.
I hate getting my hands dirty.
The fire bounced off the wall, leaving Overhaul behind the wall sweating from the heat.
Turn up the heat!
Izuku shouted as Shoto made the fire hotter and hotter till it turned blue.
Take this!
Todoroki shot the flames at Shizuki.
This is pointless!
The masked villain just made another wall, but didn't notice the ice that had surrounded him.
Now!
Replica charged the wall, turning his skin as hard as stone to block the fire coming at him as he punched a hole in the wall.
Ah!
Kai burned from the flames that seeped through the hole.
Finally!
The green-haired boy shouted as he used the ice to cover Overhaul and leave him frozen in place. Just then, the ceiling opened up to a massive man crashing down and breaking the ice that covered Shizuki.
Just what I needed.
The masked man touched Rukia. His body was healed, but also augmented and mutated to this giant flesh crow that flew in the air above the buildings.
I got this!
Midoriya propelled himself into the air with explosion catching up to the beast.
Oi, wait for me!
The blonde boy shouted as he flew up to the green-haired boy.
Katsuki?
The freckled teen was confused.
We have no time! Let's just kill this thing!
Bakugo shouted. Both teens flew around Overhaul as he darted back and forth to find an opening.
Now!
Now!
Both students created one massive explosion in front of Kai's face, causing him to fall to the ground.
I got this!
Aizawa shouted as the Flesh dropped off of Chisaki, and he was left on the floor in agony from all the burn marks on his body.
You did well, kids. So did the rest of you.
Shota began to tear up.
I just wish I could say the same to Froppy.
What happened?
Bakugo asked, confused on why Eraserhead was tearing up.
She was crushed to death by the stupid giant person.
All looking in horror as they realized they had lost another classmate. One less student, and yet many more could be next. The homeless-looking man knew he couldn't let anyone else get hurt, so he did the unthinkable.
I would like Mirio to become Class 1A's bodyguard.
The teacher asked the government. After a long debate with the higher-ups, Togeda was eventually let out of Tartarus to become a professional bodyguard until he can prove he deserves his hero license back.
Thank you, teacher, but do I really deserve this?
The Tintin lookalike asked, as he had never felt this appreciated since All Might.
No, you don't, but the kids need help, and you're the strongest person I know at the moment.
The kids' eyes lit up as their friend walked back into the class. Cheering and excitement exploded from them all as he was finally back to join in the fight. But he had no clue what was in store or who. All Lemillion knew was that he had to protect the kids with everything he had, even if that meant him dying. But the future #1 hero and the wielder of One for All had to get to the top, no matter the cost or who he lost along the way, because it's his oath and promise he made to All Might. Back at Tartarus prison, the infamous serial killer waited for a way out.
Goddamn kid gets out early while I'm still here. I thought he was gonna help me escape, but I guess not.
The hero killer said as he sat in his cell watching as all the other villains roamed the courtyard. Stain stayed in his cell, counting the days, hours, minutes, and seconds, plotting for revenge. But he would never get it until... Thank you all for sticking around, and I hope that you enjoyed. Before you leave, we would just like to let you know that We Celestials has many other channels for your entertainment and viewing purposes. All the information you'll need is right below here in the description, so feel free to check out all the other incredible projects our team creates. Secondly, on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in the production of today's awesome content. Their details will be in the description below. That's all for today's video, so goodbye, and have a divine day.